Critical Thinking: How to Develop Confidence and Self-Awareness. 2 manuscripts. Written by Stephen West. Narrated by Raymond Lawrence. Production date 2019. Copyright date 2019. Chapter 1. What is critical thinking? It is important to start with defining in detail what critical thinking is beyond what you can simply search in Google, and provide some insight onto ideas and concepts that you may have not heard of or even considered before reading this ebook. That's the goal. Let's begin with the simple definition. Do you know the nonprofit organization, the Foundation for Critical Thinking? This amazing organization is a pioneer in helping create critical reform on education, and they are working hard towards marketing essential modifications in the current education system and in society by really pushing for inclusiveness and cultivation of everyone's ability to think critically. There is no other definition that comes close to defining critical thinking so thoroughly, but yet it's only a small fraction of the true meaning. Critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and/or evaluating information gathered from or generated by observation, experience, reflection, reasoning, or communication as a guide to belief and action. In its exemplary form, it is based on universal intellectual values that transcend subject matter divisions. Clarity, accuracy, precision, consistency, relevance, sound evidence, good reasons, depth, breadth, and fairness. That's pretty deep, right? I thought so too. So let's break this down a bit. This is the fun part. What are the types of information that we encounter on a daily basis? Let's face it, Fred Flintstone had it truly easy. He simply picked up his car and ran off to wherever he needed to go. Zoom! A pterodactyl would deliver the slab of a newspaper. People actually went outside and talked to their neighbors, and they did normal activities and sports like bowling. Those are the good old days, right? In today's information age, we literally have an unlimited supply of information and sources of information. Think about it. We get information from television, papers at work, cell phones, social media, video games, newspapers, magazines, the internet, our children, our spouses, our pets, our family, our heroes, our role models, our enemies, our food, our doctors, our lawyers. I think you get the point. We wear several hats during the day, all of which require us to not only take in information in a different way, but also spit it back out, if you will. We are literally walking computers if you think about it, and you even dive into the true meaning of this definition of critical thinking that you have read earlier. We take in information, we analyze it, we act on it or discard it, and we move on to the next piece of data. The major difference is that a computer has only one source of incoming information, and that is you, the user. We, the supercomputers that we are, have millions of sources of information. The other major difference is how we process that information differently than a computer. That's where critical thinking comes in. I mention this because it's important to understand not just what critical thinking is, but also to take a step back before you simply apply a definition to your everyday life. That first starts with understanding and learning about how your brain works, which helps you understand our human vulnerabilities and prowess. Vulnerabilities and prowess of the human brain. It should come as no surprise to anyone reading this book that the brain is a complex thing. You also know and understand that critical thinking, whether you know it or not, is basically a part of our human DNA, which factors into every single decision, response, and emotion we feel. Which is why it is important to point out that while the brain is a supercomputer, there are still the other parts that make us human. The brain is also in charge of our feelings, our behaviors, and our experiences. It also keeps our memories stored in a nice fire and waterproof box. It is also what allows us to see ourselves and our self-awareness. It's a phenomenon that many people today still do not fathom. Nobody really knows the secret to a totally 100% functioning brain, or what we can do to speed up its processor speed. But there are definite things you can avoid to keep your brain healthy and functioning at a higher capacity. What does this have to do?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?